Hello, everyone, to the first Ocean Protocol Ambassador Town Hall. My name is Robin. I'm the captain of the Captain's Lounge. It's a little bit of a complicated setup, but in the end, this means I'm the head of the Ambassador program. And yeah, I want to introduce the crew today. We have like 2 ships and ship captains in their hands. So this is our organization here. So yeah, maybe who wants to go first?
Yeah, I can just go if nobody wants. Hey everyone, I'm Albert. I'm currently leading the Techship together with Frederic. I have a background in philosophy and computer science and try to combine these fields. And I joined, I think, the Ocean Protocol Ambassador program almost a year ago or so. And yeah, I've worked on many different community-based projects and happy to be here to tell you what we did in the last few months.
Maybe you want to go next, Frederic?
Yeah, hi, I'm Frederic. I'm the helping hand in the Techship. I'm supporting Albert, and I'm active in a few community projects, and it's great to be here. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, hi everyone. I'm Laurent. I'm also an old ambassador, like Robin. He would tell you all the funny stories back from back in the days. And I handle the outreach ship, and I'm part of several programs within the community. The biggest one being Ocean Academy, together with quite a few other ambassadors, in fact. So yeah, that's it for me. I'm of course delighted to be here.
Hi guys, I'm Adan. I'm based in Geneva, in Switzerland. I joined the ambassador program a few months ago, and I'm on the outreach chip, working with Laurent to engage ambassadors. And I'm really happy to be here tonight.
Awesome. Yeah, it's really awesome to have all of you. So I mean, I will share my screen, and we of course prepared a presentation for all of you. So yeah, let me present. So can you see my screen?
Yep.
All right. So okay. So yeah, this is the first town hall, and I mean we have an agenda. So I'm doing like greetings and the history lesson. So yeah, how did we arrive at where we are right now? And then we are going to present the bit of the current program. So how we have structured it right now, and then in the end, which will be the major part of today's town hall, will be like, how are we going to revamp the program? So there, everyone is invited to also ask questions in Twitch chat, and we also had a form that you guys were able to fill and give feedback to us, and also propose things for the future. And yeah, so I think I should switch off my stuff here. Wait, let me go back. Sorry for that. Yeah, so yeah, basically the basic idea about this revamping is that one major thing has changed. We have switched our funding from the Ocean Protocol Foundation and the Ecosystem Fund to the Ocean DAO. So that's a major step for us. I mean, now we kind of have to convince the community that what we are doing is worth of funding. I mean, we managed to do that very well in the last round. We got 2.5 million tokens to vote for us. So that was the largest amount of votes ever. So I think we are doing well. But I mean, this also gives us new opportunities and the chance to really change the program if we want to. So that's the major point we want to talk about in the end. But first, yeah, greetings everyone. So once Manan from the core team told me that there would be Ocean Protocol Ambassador Town Hall meetings, but I actually never believed him. I thought, yeah, okay, we were just a few people, and we were just like trying to make the program work and get more people on board. But there we are now today. So yeah, this is the first Town Hall, and it's a place to come together and reflect on the program, what we did in the past, where we are right now, and especially what we want to do in the future. So let me start very early in the beginning. So this was the first iteration in 2018. So I checked out my mails and I was accepted on 29th of November in 2018. Back then, there was this three-stage approach. So you started as an attaché, then you could level up to become an envoy, and finally an ambassador. And yeah, for each step you had to different benefits, but you also had different tasks that you had to do. And yeah, in the end, a lot of people joined. So I think the channel still today in Telegram has like 60 members. I also posted the link to the meeting here today. So if anyone's in the chat who's still from that time and maybe followed the link today, warm welcome to you guys. And yeah, it was a very interesting time. Nobody was really sure how to do an ambassador program, and I think Ocean was kind of one of the first projects that had one. And yeah, it was a very interesting thing. So I remember perfectly how I became the ambassador. I mean, I created a channel for the development for developers from the community. So the team was really happy about that, and then they kind of promoted me directly from attaché to ambassador. So there was like a few hundred people in there, and that was really beneficial. I'm not sure. Yeah, there was some communications over time, but yeah, that was kind of the very early beginnings, and things from there developed further and further. So I remember then the next step was that there's that here the benefit here for the ambassadors, that there's an invitation to an annual summit. So I was really expecting, okay, how would this be? So, and this then actually happened in August 2019. And here, okay, this is maybe not necessarily perfectly GDPR compliant that I'm posting the names, but these were the people that were actually invited. And I mean, Laurent is also in the call today, and Simon is just on hiatus right now. And I mean, like the other ones, I think Alex still works for a different project in the crypto space. And yeah, the other ones I kind of lost a bit of touch with them, but this was basically the first time that we all traveled together to Berlin and we met each other, and that was really great to having like worked on the Telegram channels together for the team, doing the ambassador work, but then like meeting each other face to face, sitting in some boat on a river during like there was some crypto events. Drinking some beers and exchanging battle stories and getting to know each other in real life. That was really great. So I really liked this about the program. And yeah, we had the chance to also meet the team. I remember there was a big event like the Pacific Ocean release party. So like it was a headphone party in the office of Ocean, and yeah, we got to shake hands with Bruce and Trent and discuss topics with them, and yeah, it was great. I mean, I still remember this event very vividly. And yeah, on the Sailors Lounge this week, I actually brought it up with Bruce, who was our guest, and he said, yeah, we should think of doing this kind of events post-COVID again, somehow to bring the community together, because I think the personal meetings with everyone or whoever can be there is really something that elevates the whole experience. Okay, the next stop was then in October 2019 and November 2019. That was when Nima joined the Ocean Protocol. So I was invited there to join two different meetings and talk with Nima. And I kind of resisted to get hired to Ocean Protocol somehow right away. But we were discussing very deeply what we could do with the ambassador program, because like only a few people were active and not too many real projects or ideas were really followed through, or like real things happened. And this basically led then to a revamp or a second iteration of the program in January and February 2020. So like I at the time had just started a job as a product owner. So that's like in an agile world, is like the guy who organizes the projects. And yeah, so we then revamped the whole project into a more of an agile way of working. So here you can see our Trello board, and we kind of instated a process how things, how tasks can be created, that we could have recurring tasks, and yeah, we can kind of also we're iterating on a system how to reward people for doing meaningful things. And I remember back in that time, we had like a small card. I mean, I think it's just right outside of the screen, which was called Ocean 101, which basically then later became Ocean Academy. So that was the first really successful spin-off of the ambassador program. And if I think about it now, then there's many more that came after that. So like Data Union, for example, where I'm working on, is also a spin-off kind of. The first people who worked there were also ambassadors. Then Delta DAO, which is now making big waves, is also like a project with a lot of ambassadors. And then I think Albert will talk about 2 more recent projects that just came out of the Techship, which itself like kind of transformed over time to become more of an incubator now of new projects. So yeah, it was a very long journey, but yeah, now we kind of are in the 3rd iteration. So like, yeah, this is the thing that we are kind of shaping right now. A lot of people have joined. We made a lot of progress, and yeah, I'm really, really happy about it. So yeah, we came a long way, and it's really cool to be here with all of you together. So, okay, then, yeah, this is a small slide now about the organization. So yeah, we have so kind of the setup of the whole ambassador program. So on the left side we have supporters, so the general community, and we have the sailors, the ambassadors who are joining the project. So this is now done in a process that we kind of established. So we have the academy where you get the basic knowledge. If you are still interested, you sign a code of conduct and do a crowdcast, and then you basically become a sailor. There you can already start contributing, and from there on you can then become captain or a hand, or like myself, the bartender of the captain's lounge. That's basically the governance meeting. So we kind of did the setup because we wanted to make sure that we have a way to make sure which activities should be funded, which activities should be just like voluntary tasks. So yeah. And nowadays we have the Ocean DAO here to get funding, but we are still working very closely with the Ocean Protocol Foundation to fulfill requests that they have to help them out. So yeah, here's a steady exchange going on. And yeah, so in the end we have 2 ships now. So we are also very open to have more ships in the future if somebody has a great idea, and especially also personnel, people that want to man the ship. Yeah, we always have a captain and a hand for each ship, so that in case of any emergency or like sickness, that there's somebody else who can take over, and that the person who is like steering the ship is not alone. And the outreach ship in general is more outward toward social media, or towards companies, towards events, especially in the future if the pandemic will cease, and yeah, and also to identify and find other communities that we can connect to. So that's what Laurent and Adan are leading. And then we have the Techship, and here we had kind of these 3 topics here that we want to build stuff in a way, but we're still doing that. But the major theme right now is to find new projects and to coach them to become self-sustaining. So it became more of an incubator now, and yeah, that's what Frederic and Albert are leading. So yeah, we're making great progress there. Like we're already in the 2nd project, and one of them already got a grant from Ocean DAO. So they are kind of on the way really to stand on their own, and they're working very closely with the Ocean DAO team, and we're really proud that this project came out of the ambassador program. Okay, yeah, then I would hand over to Albert.
Yes, thank you very much, Robin. So yeah, I will give you a quick update about the Techship itself. As Robin stated, there were many ideas of what the Techship can do. So we thought, okay, what we have in the Techship is actually expertise in terms of content regarding the core technology. And we wanted to build like D-apps and tools and so on, but we actually are lacking people in the community. Or let's put it this way, the people that are in the ambassador community are already working on some project, and they did not have enough time to actually work on an additional project. So what we did in the very beginning was actually try to find new people who would like to work with us and who also share the vision and values of Ocean Protocol. We were successful, and actually, a handful of new people, I will talk about them in a moment, joined us. And since then, we understand the Techship itself more like front-end engineering, what we are front-end innovation, sorry, what we are trying to do. So we try to find teams, and then we try to build something together with them. And one of the very first projects that came out of this was the Ocean Pearl project. We are already working on the next project because Ocean Pearl is trying at least to become independent, and it looks very good. And so we started as a Techship to work also with a new group. We were finding new people on an ocean dashboard for computer data. If we go to the next slide, we see that Ocean Pearl is actually a team of now, I think, 7 people. 4 front-end developers, 1 back-end developer, a project manager, and right now me in lead development. And if we also switch to the next slide again, so in total, 5 new members joined the Ocean ecosystem. Everything that we do is completely open source. And the idea here is that it's something built by the community and for the community. And we are also working closely with Ocean DAO. And what is Ocean Pearl? Actually, it's in the end a project tracker. There are so many things happening in the Ocean ecosystem. It's almost impossible, even for someone who works on this full time, to keep track with all the changes, updates, news. And therefore, we think we need like a central place where you can get your updates quickly, and also especially where our early focus is on the Ocean DAO itself. So for now, we have, like, it depends on the round, but I guess the numbers will increase of the proposals. So you at some point you will have the 30 plus or even 50 plus or so proposals per round, and depending on how much traction there is right now. And then as a voter, it's almost impossible to vote based on data, except you're having your own Excel sheets and so on. And maybe some of us even do. I surely believe even some of us do, but most people don't, and they still should have a chance to actually make educated votes and vote for projects who will really support the project, the ecosystem, and also make sure that projects who are not delivering what they are promising to deliver, that they don't get enough votes, or they even get a no, so that they get some kind of, let's put it this way, punishment. And this is what we're trying to do with Ocean Pearl. The Ocean DAO team likes this approach, and they actually, we were working very closely with them from the very beginning. But now we had our first kickoff call yesterday, where we aligned our milestones and roadmap so that we can work towards the same direction and try to help the Ocean DAO to become fully decentralized in the long term. And also, right now, the Ocean Pearl team is completely independent of the Techship now. So we are still supporting them and advising them. And some of us are even helping them with reviewing code. But in the long run, the Techship has nothing to do with them in terms of if they decide to do something else, we can't say no. It's their thing. And that's also how we would like to position the Techship in the end, that we help with the very first steps. We connect you to the community, and we make sure that the team that we add to the community actually fits, so that we don't add any people that might turn out to be malicious actors or not comply with our values. And while, if we can switch to the next slide, while the Ocean Pearl team is now working on the very next release for the next round and further rounds, as a Techship, we already are looking at the next project, which is a computer data dashboard. Computer data was just released, I think, a month ago, 2 months ago, or something like that, so a couple of weeks ago. And there are still thousands of questions for people who are not familiar with the system yet. And what we think will help is if we focus in the early beginning on developers who want to use the system. And what developers love to do is to have their console logs. And right now, every time you do a compute job, there is a log file that is created. and you can read it. It's okay. I mean, especially for developers, they're used to this. But it would be nice to have a dashboard that just gives you an overview of all the compute jobs that you did, and a nice interface with graphs and so on that shows you, okay, how long was this job run, what is the actual output, and whatever is written in the log file. This project is right now done by 4 full-stack web developers. It's like they are from a coding school, and they were looking for a final project for their resume, and so that they can add it to their portfolio. So everything that we do here, again, it's open source, so everybody can use it. And in the best case, they will keep developing this if the community thinks this is useful. I had actually a call with them today. They're making very good progress. I was very impressed because they're still junior, but they already managed to create a dashboard, and you can log in with your MetaMask. And I feel like creating such code snippets will also help others who want to implement anything related to Ocean Protocol, so that they will find at least a reference project that they can use, and then copy the components, the libraries, or whatever is developed for that particular project. So yeah, we just started with this project like 3 weeks ago. This also means we are always looking for people who want to join us. So we are really keen to be inclusive, and we are trying to have a diverse community, and therefore whenever someone comes to us and has an idea, we don't ditch that person because the idea might not be the best, but we really try to work on this together. Frederic had several meetings with people who approached us. I had several meetings, and see, okay, how could they actually use Ocean Protocol or the Ocean Protocol tech stack to solve their problem. And if we go to the next slide, this is also how we consider, oh no, sorry, the slides are a little, there should be a slide Techship plans. Oh yeah, there it was. One, it was? Yeah, no, there was back, I think. Yeah, one the next.
Oh, the spoiler! It's this one. It's a typo, I believe.
Okay. Okay. All right. Yeah. Then yeah, the title is wrong. Thanks. So how we imagine the Techship, as I mentioned in the beginning, we are in the end doing front-end innovation. So we try to identify problems. This is one of our strengths because we know the community very well in the Ocean ecosystem. And then we try to build dedicated teams to solve this problem. So either we approach our own network, or we try to find these people through the ambassador program, if possible. And then the very next step is actually to build a prototype that solves this problem, and then go, for example, in this particular case, to the Ocean DAO, and then apply for a funding so that these teams can keep building if the community thinks this is helpful. So our role as a Techship is always to support the teams to become a sustainable project. We don't want to work just on one project. We think, our main strength is bootstrapping other projects and connecting them so that they can really focus on their specific product, and everything else is done by us. And this is also how we would like to keep innovating and trying new projects in the near future. But it heavily depends on if we are able to find enough people actually that want to join us, because the tech space, and especially the machine learning and the Web3 space, is highly competitive. So it's not like people are flying around and they don't have to do anything. And they are all getting super good offers. So the only way to actually get these people is through the vision. And I feel like the Ocean community and Ocean Protocol has a very strong vision. And this is also how I would transition now to the outreach ship, who are trying to communicate this vision.
Thanks. That's a transition. Love it. Awesome. So so I'm going to also say a few words about the outreach ship. And so it's like kind of how we divide our own kind of organization. It doesn't mean that we are like fully independent people, right? So I sometimes jump into the Techship. Albert also joins the outreach-ship on some aspects, like for example for Ocean Pearl, the outreach-ship has also been supporting with some visibility and planning some communication. So this is really like two kind of pillar of the same building in a way. So the outreach-ship. So I'm going to describe it a little bit now. So we have 23-ish members. It's kind of difficult to provide an accurate figure here because in theory we have, I think, over 70 people. People who have joined at least once one meeting. Perhaps we have 40 to 50, something like this. And then the more active people over time who have done at least some things and participating in discussions, I think we are about 23-ish, maybe 25. So we have also a structured process which has been working well so far. So we have a bi-weekly meeting together with the outreach crew, where we review our priorities in an agile way in the templates that Albert and Robin have pulled together for the program. So basically we use the criteria that we've set up there when we updated the program recently, earlier in the year. Yeah, then we present this to this monthly meeting and discuss with the fellow captains where to prioritize the token allocation that we have. So in the past, we were getting this from the OPF directly. Now, in the future, we're going to apply for grants. However, I must say it's quite humbling to see the community involvement there and actually voting with over 2 million tokens for the Ocean Ambassador program and the proposal with the highest number of different addresses voting for it. So that's the one, and it's really amazing to see the support of the community. So we were unsure because the funding was changing, how will the program evolve if there is no direct budget allocation. But it seems that funding may not be, in fact, such a big problem going forward. So anyways, that's a side point to thank the community who has voted also for the ambassador program in the Ocean DAO. So yeah, perfect. Thanks. So then what have we done over time? Basically, there has been a lot of different activities that have been done by different people in the outreach ship. The first one, and one that is very salient and quite fantastic, really, is the Sailors Lounge. There are now 10 episodes of it. We can click, I think, once to see this. Yeah, I have had my animation, so it was no, just once. It was spoiled. It was spoiled already, and now with the click, it's maybe I shouldn't do those animations. But anyway, so this is the YouTube page that we have. So we have a dedicated channel where all these meetings where we decide on priorities and budget allocation. This is all recorded and made public. There are also these episodes of the Sailors Lounge. The latest one had Bruce. Trent was there. Many people from the ambassador program were already also there. Some people building on Ocean Protocol. Other projects have also been featured there. For example, Up Scientia was there recently. So there is really a lot of amazing activity. If you click another time, we will see the mock-up page for the ambassador program. So basically a page put together with all the different profiles of the ambassadors. We also have now a dedicated Twitter channel. There aren't so many followers so far, but when you look at the reach, you see that this account actually reaches about 30,000 people in a 4-weekly period. So that's pretty nice. And even I'm told that this latest period wasn't so fantastic because we didn't have enough degen content. and that really makes a difference in terms of impressions. So we'll have to think about something there. Anyways, there has also been some local events that have been set up, which is quite nice, especially one handled by Noé, who has been also doing a lot of work there. There has been localized articles and Medium posts. So if you click again, we will see an article announcing the Polygon integration in Bulgarian. So that's also an area where the ambassadors can play a role to localize the programs and really penetrate in each of the linguistic regions across the world. There has also been efforts to approach and recruit influencers in the space. So this is an approach that takes time. So far we don't really have big results to share, but this is work in progress, and some relatively famous profiles in the AI and or Web3 space have already shown some interest. Like notably a professor in the US, I believe, as I recall. There has also been some support in the different social channels. There has been support in communicating some stuff for the OPF, like, for example, announcing these Ocean DAO events. And also quite a bit of work on the branding in the backstage. So none of this has been shared with anyone yet, but I sneaked one print screen in there because we don't really want to comment on this. It would take much longer for Adan, who is the brain and the artist behind that kind of stuff. There is some stuff coming, so that's an idea, a sketch, just to keep you guys excited as we go through the presentation. And then anyways, we're going to click again, and you will forget about it until we have a dedicated session for this. We also have an incredible collection of memes created, and this is just one of the many memes that we have available. I find this one quite poetic, and I really like it personally. It's not really like a degen kind of meme, so perhaps we could also try to explore that territory a little more. As long as it's respectful and inclusive, we are fine. Yeah, so this is quite some cool material that has been developed and activated within the outreach ship. So if we go next, what are the plans? As we are now an independent organization, we shouldn't just have a page describing the ambassadors. We can have a dedicated website. We can have a dedicated content. We will have some dedicated branding quite soon. And so we can start to behave as a coherent group, not just as a small extension of the OPF. And that's quite meaningful. And in fact, this is also why we wanted to have this meeting today, this town hall, because the change is actually more significant than it looks. It opens the door to a lot of stuff. So we can own distinct communication channels. We can have a tone that is visibly different from the OPF and other actors in the ecosystem. Of course, we want to promote like some consistency and the values of Ocean Protocol set by the foundation, but we can have our own tone of voice, which is quite nice also. So we also discussed with some fellow ambassadors the possibility to create case studies based on interviews with different data owners or people using data. So that's also a very interesting idea going forward. And of course, the local community's engagement. So there has been a little bit online so far, but if the situation with the pandemic improves, I think we should actively schedule some local events and get things moving in our respective areas. Okay, so that's it for the outreach ship. So on purpose, we didn't want to expand too much on this so that we could actually dive into the heart of the discussion, revamping the program. So we said there is some change, that we probably need to keep reinventing ourselves. We have gone through quite a lot of evolutions since 2018, as Robin mentioned. We were not always all super involved. For example, myself in 2019, I was absent probably half of the year, then came back in 2020 and was a lot more involved towards the end of 2020, and now still quite involved over the first half of 2021. We had, as Robin said, Simon, who is finishing his PhD now, who we hope to get back later in the group as a member of the ambassadors, and key leading figure also of the program. So anyways, I'm going in all directions now, so let's jump straight into it. So you may remember that we have sent actually some sort of a form, which is basically just, thanks for the right timing of the animation. So we have sent this like super simple form where we wanted to capture kind of, okay, what is your main perception of where the program is today, and where do you think the program should go in the future? So this is probably super healthy to do this every so often, and really get the community to participate in even an anonymous way. So, and I'm glad we didn't get really like so much criticism. Of course, there are points that we need to improve, but overall the feedback is very encouraging and very constructive. So there are several things that we have to stay on that previous slide. Sorry, that was good, but I still want to comment on this. So the things that we do need to think about for the future is the scope of the program. So what should we be doing in the future? And when we say the future, it's not like just the next 3 months. It's really, as Albert mentioned, also it's like kind of the vision we want to have for this program, and what deliverables we want to bring, and rethink the organization itself as well. So is the organization we have now good enough, or should we actually modify it going forward, or have it evolve? Okay, so now we can move to the feedback. So here, what we've done is that we've literally copy-pasted the form text, and I've highlighted the words that I think stand out and summarize kind of the argument. So current perception, it's good, it's organized, consistent, it's active, it's a committed and engaged community, it's a useful program, and actually a program where we would need more outreach. That's super true. We should have a web page, and someone also suggests later to have a YouTube, and all of this is actually falling together. So web page is something that is planned, YouTube is something that we already have, perhaps that we need to communicate more, but all of these points of feedback are great because they help us understand that, yes, so the people actually like the program, think it's overall good and useful. And I think we can always improve and we can always doubt, and of course every day is not a champagne day, but ongoing we are doing good, right? So I think this is the key message. And then we are going to take the suggestions. If we move to the next one, yeah. So improvement suggestions now. So there are a lot of things. Some actually we had to reserve one slide for one person who was really taking a lot of space. But okay, that comes in a moment. So the improvement, basically, we should have more active ambassadors. It's true that, as we mentioned, we have a lot of ambassadors in theory, but then it's difficult to say, okay, how many really are active over time. And yes, the engagement and the activity is something that we want to boost. We have discussed this several times within the outreachship, but also within the Captain's Lounge meetings, and also informally here and there with everyone. And that's something that we should really focus on going forward. We could have a JCal invites. Right now, I guess this is Outlook. That's something that can be optimized for sure. We could have like a direct allocation of tasks. So basically, something like a sandbox. That's something that other projects now are doing with reasonable success. So it's like kind of a small form of Gitcoin, but for the specific to the community. Well, maybe it's a stretch. I'm not describing this so well, but anyways, that's a different way to match individuals and activities. Transparency is something that has come back a few times, and I must admit I was a bit surprised, because I think that all we do is transparent, all we do is public. Perhaps once or twice we haven't really been systematic in summarizing meetings and writing this, or recording meetings. So perhaps this leads to this impression of lack of transparency.
Well, I think the point here is more in the direction of a website, right? So like, who is an ambassador? If we have the website, I think this will be more obvious. So I think,
yeah, sure. Okay, maybe I'm going forward because I'm already synthesizing a little. So that's there is more on the next slides, in fact, on transparency.
Okay.
All right, so I'll comment it then. But yeah, you're right. This particular comment is more on the who does what kind of thing. So automated LinkedIn badge, I translate. If the one who wrote this comment can clarify, I think it's badge, and I think it makes a lot of sense. I really like the idea. More on what's the role and way of working of the ambassador program, and that's something maybe we take for granted, but we don't communicate enough on this. So basically, we send this manual to people, and then we kind of forget about it. So maybe we need to remind everyone of why we're here, right? Some comments on the swag, some comments on the fact that we are old. I really love this one. So we should find younger people. Sorry, Albert and Frederic, you look older than you are. So anyways, the documentation part, I think this is linked to transparency and a structured approach to information. It also makes a lot of sense. And Ocean Pearl is going in this direction on some aspects, like on the project, and maybe that could be extended or replicated for other pieces of information. So very interesting feedback here. So if we move to the next slide, I think you jumped. Yes, so that's this. Is this the one? Yes.
I think this one is the one person. No.
This one is the one person. Yes, exactly. So yeah, suggestions, more direction. So perhaps we should be more directive in where we want to go. Perhaps we could create also another ship that is really like business focused, like business development, this kind of very specific outreach to organizations. Very interesting point. List the actions to quickly be able to contribute to. Again, linking this to this idea of a sandbox where there is a matching of tasks and people. Empowering also the ambassadors to speak externally about Ocean. So until now, we have been very careful with ambassadors to really say things that are always absolutely accurate and really like OPF grade. And perhaps there is room for more space for people to explain Ocean, even if they don't really understand the ins and outs, right? So I'm in the outreach ship. I don't pretend to understand all the details, at least not yet for sure, of the C2D technology, the compute to data, right? Still, I understand enough to talk about the benefits that this offers to someone else. And even if I say something that is not correct, of course, once people hear about Ocean, they can see for themselves and get the accuracy there. And perhaps this would empower ambassadors more than we think. So that's a very interesting piece of feedback. We could have buddies and coaching activity. This is also quite a cool idea. And again, we would need to have a better overview of activities and get to a sustainable funding, which I think we may have actually. So if we move to the next one. So there was this long feedback, but which contained a lot of very useful information. So we, for example, the base material that we use, we should have available material to use for local community meetings or online presentations, events, etc., etc. So if we had like this common repository, we can just pull this and use it. There has been Kai who has prepared something like this. We have also been waiting for something from the Markham team of OPF, and perhaps what we would need here is to have a repository storing really like everything, like the memes, the presentations, the content material, where all ambassadors can come and pick what they need and then go out there and do their thing. So that would be really empowering them. We should also have like standardized set of guidelines. I think we do, but again, I think it's a problem of communication and reminding people of what are the guidelines that we use. Okay, also have a call to action kind of in physical events. Like, for example, the next step is to get the people to join the Ocean Academy, where they can learn more after a first contact in an event. That's also a very smart thinking about our path to adoption. So that's really very interesting. Standardized logos, etc. So as we said, so this is coming. Yes, initiatives that could be taken as a team. So a few projects. I think the Techship really does more of it. So joining forces to create new artifacts. Within the outreach ship, we've rather had individuals taking on tasks, and it makes sense to work more as teams. Absolutely. Okay, so we can move to the final slide, which is basically just recapping what we saw before. And all of this, by the way, is to be checked by everyone. The entire feedback is there. If there are some points which you think are not covered enough, raise your hands and we check this out. So useful program, participation could be enhanced. Transparency is needed, more transparency, and maybe this is also tied to more communication. That's something important. The ambassadors would benefit for a more structured approach to information and material. We should have more available material and templates available there for different activities. We should be given more freedom to talk about Ocean Protocol. Even if it's not entirely subjective, but based on one's personal understanding of Ocean Protocol, it's fine as well, as long as it's not saying something totally wrong, of course. And if it's explained also with the warning that maybe you don't know everything yet, of course. So the activities requiring teamwork, that's also something we can do better. So future activities and focus, YouTube, videos, swag, recognition, like for example, this idea of the badge on LinkedIn, the branding, and the web page. So all of these points are important to consider for the future. So then this is all for me, and now is the time where we can collectively reflect on where to bring the program, right? So we have, perhaps we should stay on the slide still, because
Are you sure?
Yes, because
then nobody can see us, and we can't see what the community writes to us. So now here Jim can put the questions from the community inside the screen. Is it okay if we do it like this?
Fine. So then let's go back quickly then to structure the discussion if we need to. And this is a suggestion, right? All of this. So if you want to adopt a different way of discussion, I think we could modify it. But what I had in mind was to talk about vision, to talk about scope of the program and activities, and then talk about structure and process. So this way we have like focused discussion. Otherwise, the risk is that we go in all directions at once. But we don't need the slides for that. You're right.
I mean, we can start with a vision. So yeah, I mean, from my point of view, for the vision, I mean, kind of like what I see now with the grants and our success there is like one big question for the vision would be what would we want to do as ambassadors if we kind of had like a lot of tokens available, you know, like that's kind of the perspective that we could have right now. You know, before that we were like always restricted, but now we kind of have the opportunity. If we really have something that we want to do, where we need more funds, we could do it now. So I mean, that's something maybe also for us as ambassadors to now think about. What would you change? I mean, if you now had a lot of cash, you know, a lot of money to do. So I mean, we could have now even people that would be working full time for the ambassador program. I mean, that would be something that would be possible theoretically. I mean, if I look at this, I mean, like 32,000 oceans for one grant at the moment for the next round, and we now have a war chest which like already covers us for 2 months, basically for the normal activities. And then if we could get even more, so like if we would have really ambitious projects, really something that we all think really makes a lot of sense and can really bring in a lot of benefit, now would be the time where we can, you know, like start thinking about something like this. So it does not have to be decided today. If somebody has an idea, please work it out a bit and come up with it, and then yeah, we will discuss it for sure. Because I mean, we can do it, we can get the funding, and we actually have a really strong team here. All the people together that are working here together have all the skills that really. I mean, if I would look at a company, that would be a really strong company, you know, like of just the people who are voluntarily here and contributing. I mean, not just the people in the call, but like all the people in our community. So in the ambassador program. So that's something that really incredible. So yeah, if we can leverage this for something bigger, we should do it, you know.
Yeah, I don't have a particular idea of what this bigger thing is, but I just got intrigued by the idea of hiring someone working full-time for the ambassador program. And this sounds like something interesting. Let's say if we would have a project to do so, because right now I think you, Robin, and you also, Laurent, and also the others here in the call and also outside of the call are already doing a great job, but I'm not so sure if this is sustainable, at least for the Techship. It's right now a lot that we are doing on top, and I'm quite sure that we won't be able to do this in the long run. And especially always trying to find new people and bootstrapping them. So if for example, the Techship could more focus on building artifacts, as you put it, Laurent, and then the outreach ship, for example, rather takes care of communicating these artifacts and also trying to attract new people. So I think and I don't know what's the best way. Maybe it's actually this person that works full-time that does the communication. The ships should work more closely together as we were in the beginning before we were splitting the ships. I still think it's not a bad idea, at least for the Techship. It produced nice artifacts, but yeah, the communication overhead right now is kind of killing the collaboration. And that's something that I think we need a solution. And yeah, maybe a dedicated person might be helpful.
100%.
Yeah, maybe the dedicated person should be a dedicated recruitment person. You know, somebody that is going to, you know, like, I mean, if I look at the main problem, not enough people. So maybe we should have somebody. It does not have to be called recruiter, but more like ecosystem manager or something. You know, like somebody that really puts this on the flag. I mean, like Nima did it back then. I remember he kind of rekindled the whole thing, right? I mean, I would not be sitting here if he would not have, you know, like taken everything into a different direction.
Yeah,
so like maybe we should have somebody like him, you know, like and then now he's not working for the Ocean Protocol Foundation anymore, but now it's for the ambassador program. You know, the ambassadors are taking this now into their hand to enlarge the ambassador community.
In fact, we need to ask him because perhaps he would consider.
He's now, I think, an angel investor, so I think the focus has shifted a bit. So
those guys have plenty of time.
Well, I mean, I can ask him. I mean, maybe he has somebody in his mind, but yeah, I think that would maybe be an idea that we could follow up upon.
This is so, in my opinion. So yeah, ecosystem indeed is very important, but at the same time, I think it's also like a program manager, like a product owner, in a way that we would need, who would be basically that person centralizing everything. Indeed, we because this is a side kind of thing for a lot of us, right? So we have full-time jobs and other commitments even already on top of that, and then we do the ambassador. So indeed, it's complicated to add overhead and coordination because we are structured in those two different ships. The two ships perhaps should have the same sessions and yeah, one after the other or something like this. So to maximize the synergies between the two. And certainly having one person coordinating the two would be able also to identify synergies and opportunities much better, and also help us with these operational aspects, which are really quite time-consuming, necessary, but yeah, complicated to view as, in a way, almost strategic, because it's really like getting the thing running as opposed to drafting a grand vision, right? So those are the tasks that probably you'd need someone on a payroll would do a better job there.
I mean, my job is kind of still a program manager. So I was seeing myself as kind of the program manager of the ambassador program. But to be honest, I mean, like, I'm also now very occupied with a lot of things. And I mean, like in Data Union, I have now about 10 people, and they're working full time. So just like making, and I'm the product owner there as well. So like it's not so easy to juggle everything at the same time. So yeah, but maybe we can find somebody who would be both things in synergy in one person, or we would maybe find two people, maybe, or like somebody first 50% or something like this. You know, like it could be also maybe a part-time job. You know, like maybe somebody's interested in that. Because normally it's very difficult to find a part-time program manager job, you know, like that's normally in any. I was working as that, and it's like just really not realistic in a company. So if somebody says, okay, I have other things, but I would like, you know, to do something like this, maybe we can find somebody. But yeah, in the end, like over the long run, if the ecosystem, you know, if the token price appreciates, then we could also pay more than one person full-time probably, and have multiple rows. And yeah, that would be really, really helpful in my opinion. So yeah, but just finding somebody like that is probably already a task that will take some time. So like looking out to find somebody would already be a good idea in my point of view.
Absolutely. And yeah, so having that kind of backbone probably enables us to be more ambitious on what we want to achieve, and also because we are ambassadors, so we are not necessarily like the OPF, and we are not selling anything in particular. So we rely on grant, and our objective basically is like when you are a parent and you know you have a kid, and your objective basically is to make that kid independent. Is not to keep the kid with you forever. Like your children, you want to educate them, so at some point they can live their own life. And it's kind of the same with the ambassador program. So we may get in touch with a lot of people that come here via the ambassadors, or get in touch, or where we basically formally or informally talk to them and orient them and get them into the ocean ecosystem, and then they do their own thing there in the ocean ecosystem, perhaps selling data, providing like some analytic services, creating a grant proposal, whatever. And so all of this to say, our role is kind of like getting the people into the ecosystem. And I think we do this quite well, but that also means that we have probably people who will come and will go from the Ocean Ambassador program, because it's almost like a non-for-profit kind of initiative. Right, so we are not here to get the money from the Ocean DAO and put it in our pockets for pseudo work, right? So we're really here to promote Ocean Protocol, but that means it's in a way frustrating, because a lot of people that we may recruit, and in particular the good ones, are the ones that are going to get major opportunities within the ocean ecosystem. So perhaps they will stay just for a couple of weeks, couple of months. If they stay longer, it's they're like everyone's choice, right? So we are here for a reason. But anyways, all of this to say, in terms of vision, should this be the grand vision? Or should we also want to perhaps launch some products more, so work more as an incubator and not just an early start? So right now we're doing this for tech. Outreach is a bit different. It's more of an ongoing operation in a way, because you need to relay information, you need presence on Twitter, it takes time, you need content. So it's more, well, yeah.
On the other hand, it's also like this, that there are now a lot of projects coming up in the ecosystem that do not necessarily have a dedicated marketing, people. In Data Union, I mean, I have a little bit of that, but if I look at many other projects that are now coming in there, they don't have anyone. So like the founder kind of has to handle all of that. So that would also maybe give opportunity to make a more dedicated, like a media, project from the outreach-ship, where we could say, okay, yeah, we're going to support them. Like what is the way, how, education, or like, what should you be looking for? How should you handle things? And like, I mean, like in the Sailors Lounge, we're also giving them a platform to promote themselves a bit. But yeah, if this would be maybe more channeled and more focused. I think there was something with the Pelican at some point. Maybe that would also be an option.
Well, yeah, that's what I was thinking with I guess the whole outreach ship, is that I know we have like a bunch of projects coming up through like the Ocean DAO, and like, building, like, I guess our outreach ship could become the media arm for these projects, through marketing, whether it's like graphic design, whether it's like, videos, or just YouTube channels, or, things like, marketing Ocean Pearl, or marketing like Data Union, or marketing, Absentia, another example. But outreach could definitely become like that media arm of Ocean Protocol. We have, I guess, start a newsletter, just like, I guess, with that's what I was like imagining with like the Pelican, is that we have like kind of a dedicated media arm.
Mm-hmm. This is great thinking. And perhaps what we would envision here is indeed one of these kind of community GitCon platforms or sandbox, where anyone can jump in and ask for help on things, and we would set a budget at the disposal of those people in Ocean to pay the ambassadors who would volunteer on these tasks. That's something, for instance, that NIR has been doing quite successfully, as I understand, and other projects do this as well.
Yeah, I mean, one thing that you brought up yesterday in the academy that kind of stuck with me in the evening. I was thinking about this, which was like a social token. So I was thinking maybe the Ocean, if the Ocean protocol ambassadors would have a social token with a vesting scheme, you know, like then somebody who is good but has the social tokens which are vested, kind of, you know, like that's how the projects do it, you know. You don't leave the crypto project because your crypto tokens for working the project are vested, you know, like you can't really leave. You have to wait until they're unvested, you know, like you have to work on the project. I mean, it's not a bad thing, you know, like it's not like this, but you know, like jumping quickly always means you give something up. So then you have like skin in the game. So you kind of, you know, you're committing yourself for a longer time. And that would be maybe an option. I mean, and this would also lead then more in the direction of making the whole program more into a DAO. And then you could also have, say, these tokens would also be kind of a governance token in a way. So yeah, this would be maybe this would also be an option, like in the longer term, to do something like this. And then yeah, like, okay, the people. I mean, if somebody leaves, okay, then they leave the tokens for the next person, and somebody else can also come and be incentivized, you know, to join. And then, you know, like one of the major points is like that there's a lot of cash on the line if you're really talented, but if the program can also, you know, like give you something in this direction to make it worth your while in a more dedicated way, that could also be maybe something that we could do. I mean, like we are building so many things right now and having so much, so like we could then also like start integrating the projects that are kind of spinning off the whole system, kind of still keep them or connect them via some token and stuff like this. So
yeah, I think thinking about tokens and so on makes more sense once there was this one point on your slides, Laurent, about organization. How do we want to organize ourselves as the ambassador program? Something like a company, a non-profit company, or even a DAO might work. So that there is actually some structure in place, and especially if we can hire someone full-time, this person can take care of keeping the structure up to date, and also then making sure that if we find new people, we can just forward them to the structure, and then the structure takes care of them. What I'm struggling right now a little is to see, okay, the Ocean Ambassador program. Is it something that we have as a temporary solution until the ocean ecosystem is big enough and then we don't need the ambassadors anymore? Or do we want to position ourselves as a DAO, for example, with our own products or other income streams so that we are sustainable in the long term? Because there are different ways how to do this. We can build our own product. I think we have the skills, or could even find the people to build this and then create income or revenue through this product and enable us to support the community. Another way would be, of course, and this is what we are kind of doing right now, and without an explicit plan, is to bootstrap different projects. These projects might be thankful, and then they support the ambassadors programs with grants, with maybe expertise, infrastructure, whatever. But before we go or decide on any of this, I think we need to spend more time as a community to decide, okay, what do we actually want to reach? And then we can think about tokens or any kind of organization form. And I think we have not done this yet enough, or let me put it this way, I think we need to do it again because so many things have changed and also new people have come to this program, so that we need to reevaluate where we want to head again.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so one thing that I see is like Ocean protocol itself wants to at some point make an exit to the community. So like the Ocean DAO as a thing will be like, it will probably sustain for, I mean, if you look at the tokenomics, like 30 years in the future. But somehow there also needs to be then some kind of maybe like a more of a core DAO that is around this, you know, like if Ocean DAO is a grants DAO, then there need to be some kind of gatekeepers, or like the ancients, you know, like the people that are there, that have the knowledge, that carry the history with them, you know, like in the long run. I'm not sure if the Ocean Protocol Foundation members want to do this forever, you know, like maybe they also want to retire at some point, but then there needs to be some kind of a gremium or like a DAO itself, you know, like that takes care of the culture and things that are there. And maybe that would be the role that the ambassadors could play, because they have been there from the beginning, so kind of in parallel.
Yeah, and on this, I think we are largely dependent on Ocean DAO. So I think that in the very, very long term, how we blend is going to be super influenced from what they do. However, what we can do is we can work as a testing ground. A lot of us are thinking to develop tokens for different projects, and perhaps the Ocean Ambassador Group could be a testing ground for that matter. So because we are part of the community, we have a trust relationship among each other with the OPF and with all the different people in Ocean Protocol. Maybe we could test more rather than like do token engineering on paper to death and then launch something when it has been reviewed by 3 audit firms, right? So we may as well go a little bit more light and actually test things. And for example, this thing which was proposed by the Ocean DAO group is coordinate. Right, so we kind of talked about it. Should we implement this, and how should we use it for all the funds, etc., etc. And I'm always kind of careful with these things to throw all the grants in there and see where we net out. At the end, it's still some money, but we could start testing this stuff over time, and it would make it also quite fun to see. So behind just the work we do, we would also have some organization learnings that we drive fast collectively, and we could just pop a token like this and see how it works. And as long as we are clear that this is all for learning purposes, and at the end we evaluate exactly the ratio of this token to a grant share or whatever, I think that could work. And also, last thing on the vesting, we probably need to give the option to people, because some people working on some things may need the cash immediately. Like if you hire someone, you need to pay that person immediately, and also some contributors maybe need that money to pay rent. Some others maybe are better off and can afford to wait a 4-year period. Maybe you can put an incentive there. You get more if it's vested, or something like that. So just all of food for thought.
It could be an extra, like a bonus, But what about the idea if we want to iterate fast with tokens and stuff? If we make a new project, for example, like now in the Techship, they get they get an experiment with them. Like now you guys have like a token. How you're going to get funded? Like you will try coordinate now, like every week. So, and then there's like somebody like as a supervisor or like a coach coming from the ambassador team, and then they take care that this process is handled. They take them by the hand, and then they try some kind of a token model. And it was also a suggestion that we should have more teams. So like teams could have different structures for their payment. We could then try something. Okay, for this team we make a token now, and we try. Okay, how does this work? How does this approach for governance, for example, for them work? And then we do it on a smaller level.
Yeah, this sounds like a very attractive idea. Actually, we have something in Polkadot that is called Kusama, where their motto is embrace the chaos. And also, if you look at companies like Valve Company and so on, if you look there in their handbook for new employees, it says a fearless adventure in knowing what to do when no one's there telling you what to do. And I think if we have something like that approach, that people can come at the Ocean Ambassador program and then really experiment, then this will attract talent. This will attract also people to actually build something very quick and see if it works or not. And also, it sounds, to be honest, to put it in a modern term, very sexy, so that we can use this to make it fun, actually, to be in the ambassador program, and not just that it feels like work. And there are enough ideas that I'm talking to many different, also in this group, people who have like very interesting ideas, but they don't really have the time or resources or knowledge to actually implement those. And we could have like a meeting where people can bring in their ideas, and then we decide as the ambassador program that we want to implement one of those ideas and see how it works out. Like This sounds super attractive to me, actually. And there are thousands of applications that come to my mind that we could build with Ocean Protocol. So why not just try it and see if it works or not, so that we can actually produce some showcases and some results, so other people can rely on our data that we produce.
Yeah, and the benefit... So systematically, I'm sorry. Yeah, so systematically capturing the learnings, and we could have project by project tokens and learn massively fast actually through these experiments.
And we could share the findings and the experiment setups also then with a larger audience. You know, like then that not just we profit from that, but I mean basically maybe we in the end we make some report that this is also part of the experiment. In the end, you talk about how this experiment setup worked out for the individuals that were participating, and then we can carry this on and also share it in general with other projects. I think like as Alex and Roberto always say for the Ocean DAO, like the tooling for DAOs and the processes are really in an early stage. So if you can iterate fast, if you can try many things, then I think that's also very, very helpful. And another thing would be then that, like what you said now, we should sometimes do the feedback. Maybe we should have an open feedback box that is always open, and then just have like time slots when we revisit what's coming in, you know, something like this.
Yeah, I think especially if we go for such an approach as we're discussing right now, like one of the first things that we need to do is to set up a proper feedback process, so that we can actually collect also the opinions of the of our community when we're building something new, so that we can heavily profit from the thousands, or not thousands in our case, but from the different perspectives that are involved in these projects. And then we can iterate from there, like every month, every 3 months, or whatever, like we can decide. I think also this Ocean Ambassadors Town Hall meeting is something that we should do on a regular basis to support this.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, like now there was a question in the chat that the link is not working from the Academy, but I think that's something we can fix in the website itself. So it probably is expired. But yeah, I mean, we should open it maybe up to the floor. I mean, I think Albert, you have some appointment to attend to.
Yes,
so maybe we can excuse you now.
Yes, but yeah, Frederic will be able to answer. And thank you, everyone. It was a pleasure to be here and to discuss this. So have a great evening, everyone.
Thank you for being here.
You too.
Yeah, now we maybe can open up the floor. Or Jim, do you have something else? You were unmuting yourself. I mean, maybe then, yeah, for the next few minutes. I mean, we're now discussing a big steps, big things. Maybe there's some feedback right away, or some other questions that people have in their mind.
I was just gonna say the question for the Discord, I guess, for the Ocean Academy. But I don't know. I'm following your lead, Robin, on this.
So yeah, I mean, like if the community has, or like if the ambassadors out there have some inputs that they, or like suggestions, now would be the time.
Yeah. If you guys have any questions, feel free to post in the chat. Any ambassadors out there? Noi, nice to see you here.
Yes, nice to see you. And everyone else, obviously.
I mean, or if anybody wants to join the stream, we could also do that. I mean, yeah, if anybody's waiting or wants to come on, just if they want to say hi and be in the video, it's also okay, I guess.
Sure, I'll post the StreamYard on the chat.
Yes, also the thing, as I believe Albert mentioned, perhaps after this town town hall, we could also keep collecting feedback. Maybe this gives ideas to fellow ambassadors to jump in and provide some other input, some other ideas, things that they would have passion to do or lead for the program, or support with, other things that they've heard about in other communities. All of this is actually very, very helpful as we think about the future of the program. So the more, the better.
I was when you guys were talking about like the tokens and I guess like how we would be structuring the ambassador group, I was kind of like thinking of like MetaFactory, where like they do have like MetaFactory, the website, they do have like a core team, and then it is kind of like the MetaFactory like .com itself is like the corporate website, and they do kind of like have a centralized like core team that kind of like does basically all the like you know I guess corporate stuff, where they do like all the shipments, they do all the you know products and all the you know back end stuff that you have with like merch and you know or basically like an e-commerce business. So they do all like the back end stuff, and that's kind of like their central like core team, and they kind of like process things, but everything else is kind of just decentralized, where it's like all the products and stuff come from, you know, just protocols from different communities, or just from, I guess they're going to move into having kind of a, I think like a stake kind of thing, where you can like like a curation thing, where you kind of curate like ideas for people's like merch ideas. You kind of like put stake. It's like basically like a voting system where you curate which one is going to go through the process and which one's going to get put up on the website. So I mean, if we do end up, I guess, having like a product or just anything with the ambassadors, maybe it could be something like that, you know, in that position. If we do have like a central core team, and then everything else is kind of like decentralized, but we have things where we can you know, I guess process. If we go like, if we have like media, and then we also have our like Techship, where we have like our own developers, we can, you know, help out, I guess, projects that are building in the data economy. Because honestly, I think if we're, you know, we're kind of like pioneering the data economy. So I guess if we want Ocean to be like the forefront or like the leader in, you know, that of the data economy, then I guess the Ocean Ambassador and like Ocean DAO would definitely be like a part of that. And the Ocean Ambassador could be like a place like, you know, how Delta DAO is, where Delta DAO helps different companies get onboarded to, you know, Ocean Protocol, and then they start using that. Ocean Ambassadors could be a place where, you know, we help with like marketing, or we help people, you know, everyone get started into becoming like this kind of structure of like the data economy. I think Bruce said something about that in our podcast, right, Robin? That where the data economy kind of right now is like, we don't have like a measure on it. There's like no measure, and there's no kind of, we need like, I don't know if it was like a label or something, but he kind of just said like we needed like we needed something to have the data economy be an actual like,
yeah, like a KPI, you know, like where you could say, okay, if this number goes up, the whole economy is doing well, you know, like whether it's like the throughput or the number of projects building on top of it, or, you know, like, or whether it's the data being sold or something like this. But at the moment, it's not obviously or not really clear what this should be. So yeah, that is also something to find. But yeah, I think that this will come only with experience. But yeah, I mean, in a way, we have Delta DAO already for the enterprise world. So they have claimed the space. And yeah, but in a way, like the ambassadors' work were crucial to make that happen. So like I see us more like as a grassroots thing, you know, like the people come together here. Maybe they have some ideas that's already good, or maybe they just have like some feeling that there is something bigger and they want to know more and they want to find other people, and then we can collect them all together, and then over time they can find what they want to do, you know. So yeah, I think that's something, yeah, that makes a lot of sense, you know. Like if you don't have the big plan already, then maybe you can just join and find out over time. Okay, blockchain Lugano.
I think, yeah. What about a internal meme competition for #FF? Ambassadors get a shout out. It would keep a constant flow of memes, and we could have simply, you know, a weekly vote. We all know really good ones get a lot of eyeballs. I mean, I don't know. Do we? Yeah.
We started a meme channel, but not many people were memeing in it. So yeah, if you make it a competition.
Wait, meme channel where? Oh, in the
on Telegram.
Trello? Oh, on Telegram.
On Telegram. Yeah, but I mean, it's not maybe that known yet, but
we need to centralize the memes that we already have. We have a ton of memes actually. It's just that they are not so visible for everyone. So we could vote on this, but I'd rather skip the step and just push them over time there on Twitter, and as long as they are not offensive, we'll see which ones really work and which ones attract less engagement and visibility. But I think it starts with this meme repository. There are some plans there. I'm not sure exactly where we are on this actual centralization.
Yeah. So I think I guess we'll just start to wrap up from here. But
yeah, so sorry, it's raining in my house. I have to. Run, so. Yeah, what can I do?
Is it leaking?
Yeah, the terrace door was open and then started pouring rain. Okay, it's fixed now. Yeah, but I think like it would be a good point to wrap up. Yeah, we had a lot of content, and really good suggestions from my point of view. Any departing words? I mean, from my point of view, it was a great event. We should repeat it. And I think we should also very hard work on the insights that we got today.
Yeah, we should definitely I think we should definitely keep the town hall like a recurring thing. I'm gonna post it in the channel. So
yeah, but perhaps we could make it a little more inclusive to have everyone be able to participate. Perhaps with Zoom. I mean, I don't know what technology we want to use, but with the Zoom premium subscription, I think we can decide when to mute people and when to get everyone to talk. Maybe that would be a setup where we would have a mix of kind of centralized presentation and closed group discussions and like bigger group discussions. I'm personally a big fan of these wider group discussions.
I mean, the first thing that we can collect now is feedback on the town hall. I mean, that's like the first thing we can get. And yeah, I mean, is there anything else that we should talk about now?
No, it's a first step. It's really a first step among many in reinventing ourselves, and probably that won't stop anytime soon. So.
But that's a good thing. I mean, that we have the flexibility. So yeah, I like it.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Okay.
I mean, well, should we do more on like the Twitch now that we have a Twitch channel? Live streams or anything? I don't know.
We can use that. I mean, there were suggestions, so we will follow up on that. Then maybe now we will do the Sailors Lounge also on this Twitch channel. And yeah. If anybody else has some more ideas, please think about the vision. If you had a lot of money, what would you do with it? In terms of the ambassador program, not just like, I mean, you know, if we can win a grant every round, and we have really some good ideas, you know, if this is an inspiration for you, just come to us with the ideas, and we will talk about them. No limits. I mean, okay, maybe some limits, like golden Lamborghinis are not possible, but yeah. So looking forward to talk to all of you guys, to the community, to everyone.
Okay.
Take care.
All right. Thanks for all joining into the town hall.
Thank you, everyone.
Have a nice one. Thank you very much.